Broncos country, what is going on? My high salute, man. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. It is your boy Mark here with Marky Sports. Hope you guys are having a great day. So, wanted to just talk a little bit about the Broncos right now. Where do we assess this team standing 10 games through the season? They're 5-5. We're going to rank them by position group going forward based off of what I've seen. We're going to give them a typical grade school ranking A through F. The only difference here is that anything that has a plus on it doesn't mean like A plus, meaning it's as good as it can get. A plus just means that there is some upside there. There's some hope, and it could be changed and could look much differently at the end of the season. We'll get right into it. Before that, guys, if it's your first time on the channel, welcome. I appreciate it. If you love Denver sports, specifically the Broncos, the Nuggets, and the Avalanche, smash that subscribe button. I am on a mission of 500 subscribers. We're working to get there, and I appreciate you guys in advance. Any support of the channel is greatly appreciated. All right, guys, let's look at this team now, right? So the Broncos have positioned themselves, even though we've coming off two tough losses, they've positioned themselves really well for a postseason run. And we'll have a separate video talking about that. But I wanted to look at this team from a 30,000-foot view as to what I've seen so far from a positional group, right? Are we as good as our 500 record says? Are we worse? Are we significantly better? We've kind of underperformed. We'll get into it. So, as we all know, this season's always been about the development of Bo, the assessment of Bo Nix, the quarterback. So that is where we're going to start with the quarterback position, and they are getting an A plus, no doubt about it, guys. I don't need no haters. Bo Nix has shown so much. I absolutely love what he's done so far in his rookie season. I love the fact that he's continued to grow. He's improved in a lot of key areas, and he gets the plus because of that upside. Because I still think that there's a ton of room for growth. So I would give him an A overall. If we're giving like a generalized ranking, like what school would be, I would say we're kind of at an A minus. There are some things that I would like to see improved, but in terms of this ranking, he's getting an A with a plus sign because I love everything about the type of upside and growth that he's shown. The upside that he has, growth that he's shown, the skill set is legit. I think Broncos country, in and of itself, at this point in the video, you could just stop it. They should be thrilled. They should be thrilled about that. All right. So moving on to the running back room, right? This is a room that I've never been a fan of. I wasn't a really big fan of it before the year. I was curious about how it was going to work out. They did make a change, it seems like, with going with Audric Estime now, so this could change. But as of right now, this running back room is a D. I don't really see a lot of upside with the room either. I think that it just they need to find a guy that fits into Sean Payton's offense better, that can pass pro, that can catch the hell out of the ball out of the backfield, and it's just more explosive, right? I want to see somebody that can, you know, hit the hole and break it 70. I don't think we really have that guy aside from Jaleel, but he's got to get there first. So that room gets a D, and it's been underwhelming to say the least. But I'm hoping for it to be better with Audric Estime. I like the fact that they're at least trying something. Wide receiver room, right? Another skill position player around the quarterback that's been vastly disappointing to say the least. I gave them a D plus, and I gave them the plus because I do see some upside, specifically with guys like Troy Franklin, and Devon Bailey. I think those two guys can become very, very good players in this league, very good players for this team. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And Marvin Mims being used in this new role, I'm intrigued by, but I'm not really going to hold my breath about him. I do like the upside, like I said, of Bailey and Franklin. And I think that Sutton has just been fine. He's been himself. He's been good. I think he's looked a lot better than he actually is. When you talk about him being a wide receiver one, he's certainly at the lower end of that. But that's what we're using him as, so we got to grade him as such. So D plus for the wide receiver room, in my opinion. Now we go into the tight end room, right? And I wanted to give this room an F. I really did, because they've been awfully disappointing. But I will say that they've got guys that, given what they're supposed to do, like in their pass blocking and run blocking abilities, they got some guys that are pretty solid. And it's one of those things that, like, when the tight ends have been involved, they've actually surprisingly made plays. They just don't get involved very much. So is that on them? No, I'm giving this room a D. I don't really see a lot of upside with them. I've always loved Lucas Kroll. I'd like to see more of them, but this room just needs an alpha. This room needs somebody that can just go out there and be a dog when it comes to catching the ball and getting open for Bo Nix. So that room needs a ton of improvement. and for that reason, they get a D as well. All right. Let's take a look at this offensive line as a whole. Offensive line, I think, has been vastly underrated. I don't think they've been given as much love and as much praise as I think that they deserve. There could be improvement overall in the run blocking or the consistency of blocking the run, but I really like what this offensive line unit overall has done. I think that they're solid. I'm giving them a B. I don't know if there's necessarily upside per se, but I think that there's a lot of really good, solid players that are getting better at working together. The biggest room for improvement, obviously, from a positional standpoint, is going to be center. Uh, I haven't been disappointed really by Luke Wattenberg. I just don't think he's been anything that special. But I've been pleasantly surprised by him actually, just considering where he was his rookie season. Somebody told me in 2 years he was gonna be the starting center, I would've been terrified, but he's actually been surprisingly decent. So, I give that room a B. I like it. I think that there will be changes in the offseason at left tackle, but we'll see. If we can keep this offensive line the way that it is, I'm totally good with it. Totally good with it. D-line. This is where we made a lot of improvements, man. I love what Zach Allen brings to the table. I love what John Franklin Myers brings to the table. I think DJ Jones has been fine in his role. Overall, I would give this line a B. B as in boy. And there's not really a ton of upside. I think, Zach Allen could always improve. JFM could, certainly improve too. But those guys, you kind of know what it is that you're getting. I like the rotation. I like the depth on the D line. I think we could use somebody that is, a little bit more dominant in the middle to be able to push the pocket up a little bit more. But overall, against the run, this defensive line has been really good. They've been decent at getting pressure on the quarterbacks. Most of the pressure is coming from the edge guys, which we'll get to next. But overall, I like this D line a lot, and I think that they've improved it dramatically. One, because of the acquisition of John Franklin Myers, but two, because the depth guys behind him, right, have have looked really, really good, and I like a lot of the additions that they made on the depth standpoint um, there too. So I like the rotation. I think the D line is great. You're going to notice the defense as a whole is getting a lot of really good ratings. The edge, we're looking at the edge players, the pass rushers. I am absolutely thrilled, in love with this room. Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito, what Jonah Ellis can do, as solid as it gets. Nick Bonito's got so much potential to even get better. Same with Jonah Ellis. They're getting a B plus overall. I think that there's still a little bit of, in order for them to get to an A, I'd like to see them be a little bit more consistent. Uh, I think that there's been times that they've been a tiny bit disappointing in specifically like holding the edge against the run. But as pass rushers, they've been very good. But they definitely get that plus because there is a ton of upside, and I think that this is a room that is not only very good right now, is going to get better and better, in the games, and in the years to come. No doubt about it. I love that room a lot. When we look at the linebackers, we're strictly looking at the two inside linebackers, Cody Barton right now and Justin Sternad. They've been fine. They've been pleasantly surprising. I'd give them a C. I think that they're league average. I was worried about this room being worse than average of the league. I think overall they're solid. They do their job really well. They're not necessarily the best in coverage, but there hasn't been a lot of times that they've needed to cover. They've been amazing in terms of just clogging up the middle of the field, making things difficult for quarterbacks to read, but also fantastic against the run. So I love that linebackers group. Not bad. Always room for improvement, but probably the weakness on our defense, but overall, I think they've been really solid. Corners. Let's take a look at these corners, right? We got Pat Sertan. We got the boy Riley Moss. We got Jaquan McMillan in the middle. This is, in my opinion, without a doubt, an A plus group. I think they are the strength of our team. I love everything that they bring to the table. They're phenomenal in zone. They're great in man. They're great at tackling the runners. They're very good at tackling. They can even have some blitz capabilities as well. I love this team. I love this group a lot. Jaquan McMillan, I think you could argue, taking a slight bit of a step back because he's playing a lot more, so he's going to get exposed a little bit. But I'm very confident in him and his ability and just the way that he plays. He's kind of got that dog in him that I think he's got some upside there as well, playing in the slot. But man, oh man, has Riley Moss been an unbelievably pleasant surprise. Such a good, well-rounded player, and obviously we know Patrick Surtain the second is the best corner in the league. This is the strength of our team, and I absolutely love it. Huge fan of it. Now, the safety group is a little bit difficult of a group for me to evaluate, right? Because I think overall they've been good. PJ Locke's shown a lot of great things. PJ Locke at times has had some, frustrating plays, but it's tough because our corners are so good, their roles are a little bit easier in terms of what it is they have to do. So I gave this group a B because I think that they're not average. I wouldn't say that they're an average group. I think Brandon Jones has been playing really well. I think PJ Locke makes a lot of plays. So I gave him a B, but because they're just fine. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of upside. I don't know if you can necessarily do better. You certainly couldn't do worse. But the safety position, in my opinion, is not really the most important position, anyways. But for what these guys are asked to do, I think they've been really solid. So they get a B for me. All right. So that basically takes care of the offense and the defense there. I'd like to know you guys' thoughts down below in the comments. I did want to make a little special, you know, groups as well, right? When you talk about like the special teams, and it's going to hurt a little bit coming off of the loss that you can argue that the special teams lost for us. But when it comes to the special teams overall, I think that they've been very solid. I'll give them a B through the season. Our kick returners and our punt returner, have been good with Marvin Mims and Tremont Smith. Um, I think Will Lutz has been good when his kicks aren't getting blocked. I'll give him a B grade. He's above league average in every category. He's certainly not an elite kicker, so he gets a B. But I think, Riley Dixon's been pleasantly really good. He's ranking as one of the better punters. I think he's done a very good job punting, pinning guys inside the 10, 20 and the 10-yard line on many times. He flips the field really well. I give, our punter, Riley Dixon, a B+. And the teams overall, they've been solid. They get a B. Um, I'm taking the last game, out of it. But if you look at it, guys, and I think you're gonna take into account, okay, where we made the biggest strides and the biggest improvements from last year to this year, right? The the biggest improvements for me, certainly is at quarterback, at defensive line, and at cornerback. Those are where we made the biggest strides, and I think that it's a testament to the Broncos front office ability to draft guys or find guys that fit into the system. Because you would think that after eating the cap space that we did and getting rid of some of the players that we did, we would have taken a really big step back. But I think overall, this roster has gotten better. It's gotten deeper, and the camaraderie that we're building has been really good. And we've filled in a lot of roles and positions with guys that have a ton of upside to be able to develop and continuously get better. So, you know, overall, I think this is a 500 roster, and our record reflects that. So I think that it's gone hand in hand with exactly what it is that it looks like on paper. But it's a 500 roster, and it's an average roster that I think has so much room for growth and is ready to blow up with just a little bit of key pieces here and there. Let me know what you guys think, Broncos country. This is just a little bit of a video that I put because I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, you know what? Let's put it out there and kind of see what everyone else thinks. So let me know below. Till then, guys, go Broncos. As always, a mile high salute. And until next time, peace out.